Now, they spent the offseason locking up star defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, and they also got Dak a new weapon in Randall Cobb. So I think you could say expectations are high. Just ask Jerry Jones, who said this: there is no tangible reason we shouldn't be expected to be better than we were last year. Full statement there. CC, you agree with Jerry Jones?
I think the Cowboys, when I look at them on paper, I don't think they'll be worse than last year, and I think that they'll get off to a better start than they did last year. So I could see the Cowboys being a team that got better this year. I believe that Amari Cooper working with Dak in this offseason, and I also believe that Dak's going to get the kind of contract that, man, they do wonders for you. Not only for your bank account, but they do wonders for your psyche. Yeah. When people invest millions of dollars in you, regardless of what they say on TV, radio, and everything, you know you have a franchise. Up to this point, people have said it, oh, he's our franchise quarterback. But they getting ready to put the money on the wood. And that's going to make what they say good. And that should be able to help out the player. Typically, I haven't seen a guy who is a legitimate NFL franchise quarterback, when they give him that money, him to go the other way. So I think that security will be able to help Dak out. I believe their defense will be just as good. They still got to be able to try to make some plays on the back end. Robert Quinn, I believe, will help them on the other side as far as a rusher, getting him from Miami. So, yes, Jerry, I'm with you on this. Everything I can't always co-sign for Jerry. But in this one, I believe that they'll be better, and I believe that start becomes very, very important to the season.
I think having Amari for the full season is the biggest key here, pardon me. The Randall Cobb addition's nice. Michael Gallup's development from year 1 to year 2 should be nice. But the key is Dak, from the very beginning of the season, having a reliable #1 receiver. So I do think the Cowboys should be a more formidable opponent, should be a better team. That doesn't necessarily mean I think they're going to win more games. They won 10 games last year. They won a playoff game last year.
Yes.
It is hard to get into that 11, 12 win threshold. Nobody thinks they're 13, 14 wins, so we're really talking in the margins here. But my real concern for the Dallas Cowboys, as far as will they be able to do what they did last year, is so much of their success, or just their ability to tread water early in the season before they got Amari, was based on having a top 5 defense. Now, we know top 5 offenses year after year tend to be around the same teams. Defenses have a lot more fluctuation because there's turnover luck, there's different things like that. When you don't have Randy Gregory, David Irving, when you're relying on Robert Quinn, it's no longer going to be, wow, look at what we got from Jalen Smith that we didn't expect. We are expecting now to get that from Jalen Smith. Byron Jones had a career year last year. Will he maintain one of the best corners in the league level, or will he regress a little bit? To me, I have real confidence the offense should be much more effective in the beginning of this season than it was last season, but is that offset a bit by a defensive regression? And then the last point with the Cowboys, where they have spent their money, is their offensive line. And was last year an outlier year as far as the highest paid offensive line being a good but not great offensive line? Or is Tyron Smith no longer one of the 3 best left tackles in football? Are those guys, what is the status with Travis Frederick coming back from missing a year with the Guillain-Barré syndrome? So those are, to me, legitimate questions that don't have to do with Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I believe Travis Frederick getting him back, it will affect the quarterback, but also there's no more unity than in that offensive line. And they really missed him last year. It helps the tackles. He controls the line calls. So it makes the game a lot simpler. So if he's able to get back to being close to the player that he was, he's participating in the offseason workouts. So Stink told us, typically in his case, Mark Schlereth, he had the same thing. It took him about a year to start getting his strength back, and then the following year, he was back to the level of play.
Because there's no reason Dak Prescott should be the 2nd most sacked quarterback in football. Right. That's ridiculous. And so with the money they're spending on that offensive line, even without Travis Frederick, so they need to get back to being that type of team to go along with having the Dak Amari combination for 16 full games.
All right, fellas, my question to you both real quick. It's not like the Cowboys were disappointing in the season. Where they've been disappointing is in the postseason. Do you think that these upgrades that they've made in the offseason, so to speak, will translate to postseason?
Well, we believe they're in the postseason. We believe that they're good enough to be in the postseason. It's hard on the win total. The NFC is stacked. So typically, as a team, we judge their wins, or are they better? But we believe they can be better with not reaching that 10 win
And they won a playoff game last year. To me, that was a big step. Now, to take a step further, now you're talking about a conference championship game where you haven't seen them in over 2 decades. So that's the question, but I think it's too early to say right now.
Too early. All right. Well, can't wait for the season, personally. Coming up, the Steph finger injury opened up the door a little bit for the Rockets to get on in there. That's ahead on First Things First.